Liberty and justice for who? For all! 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 For who? For all! Liberty and justice for who? For all! For all! For who? For all!
Yeah, he does have his own tail and cacti in his ears. No, I mean, who's building?
Oh, Skyway. Skyway.
I saw it was not hate.
All right.
No fear! Immigrants are welcome here! No hate! 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 No fear! Immigrants are welcome! Luchar, caer, poder de la gente. 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 Education, no mass deportation. Money for jobs and education, no mass deportation. Money for jobs and education, no mass deportation. Money for jobs and education, no mass deportation. No kings! 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 No
We're going to do a moment of silence. We're going to do a moment of silence for Representative Melissa Portman, who was assassinated overnight. She was the state representative in Minnesota who was the victim of targeted political violence. She and her husband they both died. Another state senator was shot. The last I heard, he and his wife were expected to make it. Politics in this country shouldn't be dangerous, but unfortunately for some people it still is. So I ask that you join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. All right. Sorry to bring everyone down after all of that. We just need to remember why we're here. And for different people that means different things. We can get back to the joy now and the party. The next thing that I've got on my list from the young people, let's see. Joy, are you ready to sing? Do you want to get ready? Joy Leeper is going to sing her song called Wise Women. There's a group in town called the Little Ladies. They meet every other Wednesday at our headquarters. Where is Susie? At headquarters. All right, I see a bunch of little ladies right here. You guys want to wave or make some noise? You guys are welcome to join them if you're interested in getting together with a group that just does good in the world. But Joy wrote this song for them. You guys had fun. Was that fun? Make our voices heard, yeah. To show us what democracy looks like. All right, let's get
wanted to recognize the brave, hardworking women in our town and across the whole nation. They're of all ages and colors, and we do so much hard work that a lot of people don't recognize. So I wrote this song called Wise Women, and I'm going to do it like a call and response. So I'm going to sing a line, and then you sing it back to me, okay?
Okay.
It's going to be easy, don't worry. Where there's injustice, where there's injustice, wise women know. Wise women know. Sisters in arms, sisters in arms, we'll need to go to make this world, a better one, a better one. Wise women do, wise women do. What must be done? What must be done? Don't you ever wonder, don't you ever wonder, who roar like thunder, who roar like thunder, when times require, when times require. We face the fire, we face the fire, wise women will. Wise women will live long enough, live long enough, survive your youth, survive your youth, grow past your folly, grow past your folly, and find your truth, and find your truth. You may become a source of wisdom, a source of wisdom. You can sing out, you can sing out, a voice for freedom, a voice for freedom. So don't you ever wonder, don't you ever wonder, who roar like thunder, who roar like thunder. When times require, when times require, we face the fire, we face the fire. Wise women will, wise women will. Never let them tell you, never let them tell you. All hope is dead, all hope is dead. We will not go. We will not go where hate has led, where hate has led. We will strive on, we will strive on, till we have won, till we have won. Respect and freedom, respect and freedom for everyone. For everyone. Don't you ever wonder, don't you ever wonder, who roar like thunder, who roar like thunder, when times require, when times require. We face the fire, we face the fire. Wise women will, wise women will. Wise women will, wise women will. Thank you. We had a few people that we lined up to speak, and I'm going to start randomly calling them out in the audience. I did want to give some younger people a chance to take the microphone
And so one of the things that younger people do in my experience is they get on TikTok. You guys know about that little thing on your phone with the videos. And I started doing that too. I'm younger genetics. I'm not a younger person. But I followed someone that I really liked and found out that she lives in freaking Girard, which was amazing to me because she was like my morning, like my routine is when I brush my teeth, I watch her daily inspirational video that like reminds me to try to be a good person and do good in the world. And then when I found out like that she literally lives in Girard, how crazy was that? And so she is going to speak next. Her name is Avery Rose. And she is the president of a local group called Food Space. And I'll let you talk about it.
Good afternoon. My name is Avery Rowland. I live in Girard. I'm a transgender woman, and I live here in Kansas with everybody. I am the chair of Food Space. Thank you. I am the chair of Food Space. We're a nonprofit organization that provides education and outreach in the community to LGBTQIA plus members of the community. We'd love to see you around. We have a meeting this evening at 6 p.m. at the Democratic headquarters. We have meetings about once a month. We try to do a fun thing once a month. We're trying to do that and garden. That's not all that I need to talk about. We're all here today because we're angry, right? Yes. However, anger only burns hot and short. It will burn you out. We cannot do this alone on anger. It takes the community. It takes all of these people here. All of our neighbors, all our strangers that we've never met, coming together for a sole reason. It takes the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. It takes every single one of us joining in and speaking out. It takes love. It takes kindness. It takes finding your friends and building community. Because at the end of the day, it's going to take all of us, and it's going to continue to take all of us. Like I said, I'm a transgender woman. I fear for my life some days. I fear that maybe they'll come for me in the middle of the night. And if they do, they're going to know my name, and that's Avery Rowland. So, thank you for showing up today. And I challenge you to speak you up and speak up for somebody. Speak up for somebody even if that's just yourself, no matter how small it is. Thank you, have a wonderful day.
You know, I hear from a lot of people that like, oh, what we need to do is we need to not talk about the trans issue, or we need to not talk about gay people, or we need to not talk about those illegals, or we need to talk about. But the problem is that when you start dividing people, and when you start saying all means y'all except for those guys, like it doesn't stop. So my vision of Crawford County, of Southeast Kansas, of the United States, is that it's the United States for all of us. We're not leaving anybody behind. Even Harry. Where's Harry? We had talked about having some open mic time for people who want to come up and tell their stories. We can't have, like, if everybody got here, if every one of you spoke for 10 minutes, we would be here for a while. And I only have the pavilion booked for today. So we do ask that you know, be respectful. We're thinking maybe 2 minutes. But is there anybody out there who's feeling a burning need to come tell us why you're here or what this means to you? Got me right there with the flag? All right. What's your name? Hunter? Welcome. There's going to be a chance for everybody who wants to speak, don't worry. I think.
The most important thing we can do to show our support throughout the state is to contact our local representatives in the state Senate and the state House. I come from House District 7, Labette and Neosho County. That is Altamont, Dennis, Mound Valley, Parsons, Chanute, Urbana, Chautauqua, etc. Our House District Representative is Dan Goddard, my father. I want you all to call him at 620-423-0999. 0407 and tell him his son sent you. Thank you. And just to repeat the number because I was asked, 620-423-0407. Thank you.
I don't know how anyone follows that. Is Chuck Smith getting here? Are you asking this? Oh, no? I didn't know if you were asking to speak next. Mike Bruner, are you coming up to tell us? Oh, all right. Anybody else want to come up and tell us why they're here? Oh, yep.
So this isn't so much a story about why I'm here, but rather a message. Now I'll keep this succinct, direct, and spoken in a way that is easily understood by all. We stand in the midst of great change in this nation. Violence, oppression, and dishonesty have seemingly replaced the very values which have been said to be at the core of the so-called American dream. That dream is dying. This dream has been replaced by the illusion that a singular authority or a group of individuals may dictate the way that the American people are to live. We are moving from the land of the free to the land of the oppressed. Who here today has not felt the anxieties that bestow us today? How many of us have had the misfortune of speaking to individuals who do not have the means to live, nor have the opportunities to provide for themselves or those who they care for? This is not a matter of not working hard enough or pulling oneself up by their bootstraps, contrary to the prevailing myth that holds so strongly for many in this country. This is a matter of taking away the means by which individuals can provide, by which they can help themselves, by which they can feel safe in a nation whose government is meant to provide for the well-being of its people. This is a matter of transferring the power from the people to a central authoritarian regime which takes and controls at the expense of its people. So let us offer up an antidote to this disease which creates suffering for so many American people. Let us set for all the example and understanding that compassion and care for all people is the means by which we direct our attention and efforts towards. This is not a silent submissiveness, but rather a deep and active push against the harm that may bestow our fellow human beings. And let us realize that we do not exist as individuals who have the right to rule over one another, but that our actions affect all. Let us realize that violence and oppression lead not only to the destruction of the supposed other, but of ourselves as well. There shall be no kings in this nation. In this nation, there is democracy and the promise of liberty and justice for all. And so, of the people, by the people, and for the people, may we demonstrate kindness, understanding, and compassion for all. And let us care for one another. And may may all peoples in the United States and on this beautiful planet rise up against oppression and authoritarianism. Thank you.
Yeah, all right. The gentleman's going to yield his time. And then afterwards, one of our organizers wants to speak to you.
Just raise my shirt again to everybody who's not seen it. You have the right not to remain silent.
Hi, my name is Eleanor Jones. I'm a 19-year-old college student here at Crowder College in town. And I just wanted to announce that I knew that Donald Trump was going to be an issue for our country in 2016 when I was 11 years old and I watched him on television talk about women, immigrants, and the LGBTQ community in such a hateful manner. And it is so important that we are here today to remove that hate from our country. Regardless of how young I am or how old I ever get, I will always speak out against that hate and represent the minorities in our country. Thank
Main organizers of this, you might recognize him from having the bullhorn. So But now he's gonna say some things that aren't just chants, but maybe some actual speeches.
Hi, my name is Isaiah, and I really just want to talk about this American flag. This flag that you see all around you that means so many different things to so many different people. And I want to talk about what that flag means to me. Because right now it's being corrupted from a symbol of liberty and justice and freedom enshrined in our Constitution, and it's being transformed into a malicious attempt to take control and to sow chaos amongst all of us. But we're going to stand together. The flag to me means that we have a duty to resist, to stand up against immoral and tyrannical laws. Let's not forget that slaves were not citizens. Does that mean that they didn't get rights or dignity to live? Absolutely not. So when we think about the immigrant population, let's keep this in mind. And we ask ourselves, when we look at history books, what would we do if we were alive during slavery? How would we treat each other? How would we act? The answer is whatever you're doing right now. Even if Donald Trump wasn't stumping on our Constitution, violating due process or court orders, I would still be against his mass deportation plans. If our president had his way, he would deport everyone not born in this country. Every Rosemary Alvarado, every Mahmoud Khalil. We will not stand for that. That is not what our flag represents. The flag to me means the freedom to wave other flags. I reject the notion that we have to cast aside different cultures or heritages and assimilate into whatever people are told American culture is. That's BS. Although he failed to make our country a better place for the working class, Ronald Reagan said something that inspired me. He said, you can't go to Germany and become German. You can't go to Japan or France and become Japanese or French. But only in America, you can come from any corner of the world, come here to live and become American. To me, that's what our flag represents. It represents a welcoming notion of citizenship that is expansive to everyone in our country that works and wants to make their life a better place, to anyone who lives here, and to their families. The flag means to me standing for human rights, no matter who's in charge. To criticize the Democratic Party when it funds genocide in Gaza, or to criticize the Republican Party when it ethnically cleanses our Hispanic American population. We will not stand for it. I'm here today because I love my country, and I mean that with my heart. The very idea of a welcoming, multicultural democracy is unique in world history. It hasn't been done. What we're doing here, look around you, see the different faces. You don't see that anywhere else in the world. This is special, and we have to fight for it. To me, this flag means more than just resisting government overreach. It also means fighting for better laws, the freedom and liberty granted by our Constitution, regardless of who your parents are. The American flag to me is a symbol of all of us and a symbol of unity for everyone standing here today. And I believe that's why we're all here, because we care about each other, because we want to make this place a better place for our kids and for everyone around us, regardless of where they're from and where they are now. Yes. So don't turn away. Times are scary, it's going to hurt, people are going to get hurt. There's no doubt about that. This day and these weeks and months are going to be written about in American history, and we'll read about it, and our kids will, and our grandkids 100, 200 years from now. There's no doubt about that. So don't look away. Stand up, stand together, keep showing up, and don't be afraid to resist. That's what this is about. Woo! And to that end, I am announcing my candidacy for City Commission here in Pittsburgh. To make sure to make sure that these values exist in our town and that they are not at risk from individuals who want to take it from us. We won't let that happen. My name is Isaiah Harris. Thank you.
Just gonna plug Crawford County for a second. What I hear a lot when I go to other places in the state, they're like, how does Crawford County have like such an active batch of young people doing stuff? Because what we've got here, people working together, is special and it's worth doing. Even when the young people drive crazy, or the old people drive crazy, you know, like, oh my God, what music are you listening to? What is that? Whatever. Like, there's something special happening here, and I think you guys see the results of that. How are you guys feeling? I had one more person who requested to speak overnight. You guys want to go back up there and yell at the street some more? Are you guys liking this? Want to do more chanting? Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm gonna let you speak, Jess. I'm just trying. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard to follow, I say. What's your name? I'm Janice Arthur. I live in Pittsburgh. I've been a lifelong Democrat. A friend of mine shared a little humor with me. I want to share it with you. She takes one word in a song we all know. I can't sing, I can pretend. But her words, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, Johnny. Happy birthday to you.
Well, Elizabeth, do you want to do an update on what the march is going to look like? Because we have a lot more speakers still. So you can do an update right now.
Okay. Hi, I'm Elizabeth Peters. I'm the secretary for the Crawford County Young Democrats. I just want to let everybody know that after our open mic section, we will have another march, but we will not be marching this block on Broadway. We're going to go around the block on Pine Street up to 4th, like up between 3rd and 4th, and then we'll be on Broadway. There's the Greenway's having a Father's Day event. We just want to be good neighbors and avoid changing directly from their life. Thank you.
Well, hi everybody. My name is Jesse Schultz, and I'm a born and bred Kansan, born and bred Pittsburghian. I was born approximately 5 miles that direction, and boy, don't time looking. So to introduce myself, I'm the treasurer of SEWIN, for the Southeast Kansas Women's Intersectional Network. We do all sorts of stuff in this area, and our core goals are quite similar to yours as you're here today. We focus on constitutional equality, reproductive rights and justice, racial justice, LGBTQIA rights, Indian violence against women, economic justice, environmental stewardship advocacy. We have a wonderful display made by one of our members on our table if you'd like to peruse. And we do all sorts of events in town similar to this one if you are interested. Every single person is welcome. And I'm glad to see you guys all out here today. Like I said, I'm a Kansan. I will remain in Kansas. Like the people present, I plan on being born in this town and dying in this town. And though it may change in my lifetime, I hope to see those changes be positive ones. And seeing everyone out here today does give me a little bit of hope that that will be the case. So regardless of what the government does, Kansas will still be bloody Kansas.
Some people are K-State fans. talk today, but she's running for school board. And I told her. Okay, another one of our exceptional young leaders who has been part of organizing this also has some things to say to you. Jack Bertoncino, the man who
Hello. Before I get started, can we give a round of applause for all the organizers and disorganizers? I know, I'm tall, it's a problem. Okay, hello everybody. All right, so my name is Jackson Bertoncino, and much like Isaiah, I am also running for the Pittsburgh City Commission. And today, I want to talk to you about what it means to love your country. Because when I was growing up, I was told it was important to love your country. I was told that being an American meant something. But what does it actually mean to love your country? Well, this is what I've come to believe. If you love something, you show. If you love something, you show for it. Not just when it's easy, but especially when it's hard. When you don't just wear the colors or wave the flags, you don't just say a motto. You practice your patriotism with action every single day. You don't love it blindly, you love it actively. And that's what we're all doing here today. We're all here because we love this country. We want to live up to its promises. And not just for some people, but for all people. And not just in words, but in actions. Unfortunately, there are some people who are not living up in actions. So many people who, growing up, told me how important it was to love the country are currently either standing by and watching what's happening, or actively participating in the destruction of what makes this country worth loving in the first place. That is what they preach. They preach and they tell us what we want, what they want to tell, but they don't actually practice it. So this is why I'm here today. I'm here because I believe in if you love something, you show up for something. If you love it, you fight for it. And so, whether that means running for office, joining one of the many amazing organizations that are here today, showing up matters. It matters in everything that you do. It could be that you want to run for office. Personally, I would recommend it. It is scary, I know. But please show up. Run for office. Meet with one of the many amazing organizations that are here today. It is important. It is important. Sorry, I need to read. But yeah, that's why I'm running for local office. Because I love my community and I believe we all want to play helping the community be the best version of themselves they can be. So whether it's running for office, joining the main local amazing organizations here today, keep showing up. That's how we love our country. That's how we honor it. And working to make it better. So to everyone here today, thank you for loving your country enough to demand more. Thank you for loving your community enough to invest your time in it. Thank you for being a part of this movement, not just today, but every day. Thank you for your time, and let's keep showing up, and let's keep being Americans. Thank you.
I've got one more thing on that, and then you can go next. Yellow hat person. I just wanted to say we have some really amazing young people in Crawford County, as you've seen. Actually, all of Southeast Kansas has some amazing young people. We also have some pretty cool older people. And one of them, Mark Peterson, is a frequently requested speaker at these events. And he just came up to me and was like, I don't want to be fishy, but can I go next? Because I want to get this over with. I hate doing this. Which is funny, because he was a professor of political science for a long time, so you'd think this was his jam. But anyway, Dr. Peterson. How many of you guys have a class? Anybody? Yeah?
This is a lot different than teaching a class. I was happy at this time rather than a professor. Today is Flag Day, a day that should unify us in terms of celebrating values that we share and cherish. That flag was first adopted and unfurled on June 14, 1777. Less than a year after the Declaration of Independence was signed, and a document which includes those sacred words. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. For they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the government. Unquote. To honor the flag, then, we must remember those days of 1777. But a full understanding of 1777 and the flag requires a larger historical context. And so I will begin with an entirely different holiday, Thanksgiving, which was first celebrated by Native Americans and Pilgrims in 1621, a year after the Pilgrims landed in Plymouth. That first Thanksgiving represented a wondrous celebration of food and sharing and life, and a day we continue to celebrate to the present. One might ask, does that first Thanksgiving have to do with the flag? If you were a Native American in 1621, how would you describe the Pilgrims? The answer is pretty simple. The Pilgrims were, plain and simply, immigrants. And rather than send them back to, excuse the language of a certain president, a shithole country, at that time that meant England, the Native Americans embraced the newcomers, helped them settle, and broke bread with them, creating a holiday we celebrate to this day. Before returning to the values of 1621, we must remind ourselves of the values in 1777, the year that first U.S. flag was unfurled, and 1 year after the Declaration of Independence was signed, asserting the following, as I have previously noticed, that all men are created equal. Those words were radical in 1777 and include values we continue to cherish today. But did the United States of 1777 truly reflect that notion of equality? In 1619, 2 years before the first Thanksgiving, the first slaves were taken by force from their homes in Africa to arrive in Jamestown, Virginia. Again, some further difference. 158 years later, when the flag was introduced to the world, slavery was still commonplace in the South, which seemed a horrifying violation of all men are created equal. Were women included in terms of the consent of the government? No. The first U.S. state to grant women the right to vote was Wyoming, and when Wyoming was admitted as a state in 1890, the flag had 44 stars. Women did not gain the right to vote nationally until the 19th Amendment of the Constitution, ratified by Congress in 1920. As for slaves, their emancipation in the South was not realized until the 13th Amendment of the Constitution, ratified in 1865 after a horrifying and bloody war, when the flag had 35 stars. The rights of blacks to vote in much of the South did not realize until the Voting Rights Act of 1965, a full century after the end of the Civil War, and the flag had reached 50 states. What do these cherished reforms have in common? The inspiration for all of them came from protest. It was the abolitionists, such as Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass prior to the Civil War. It was a suffragette movement led by women such as Susan B. Anthony and Elizabeth Stanton that were central to women gaining the right to vote. For black voting equality, it was Martin Luther King, John Lewis, and Shirley Chisholm who led the Civil Rights Movement. They were all engaged in this activity we are today, protest. We stand on their shoulders, and we are engaged, what we are engaged today, honors all those who preceded us in making the United States a more perfect union. Our protest today is enshrined in the First Amendment, back when the flag had 13 states. Congress shall make no law abridging the freedom of speech, or the press, or the right to people to peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for the redress of grievances. We gather today exercising these rights in order to create a more perfect union, and we stand on the shoulders of many who preceded us. And so that takes us back to the beginning, the first Thanksgiving back in 1621. What can we learn from that feast? For me, the greatest lesson is so simple. Love thy neighbor. Those idealistic pilgrims must have looked to the Native Americans the way punk rockers looked to my mother back in the day. But rather than recoiling from what was certainly new and different, the natives welcomed the newcomers. Instead of we versus they, the Native Americans welcomed the Pilgrims as we. Rather than demonize people who came from so-called shithole countries, today let us honor the work of immigrants who do backbreaking work on corporate farms in Kansas. Rather than accusing immigrants of being rapists and murderers, let us recognize that immigrants, either documented or undocumented, have lower crime rates than those of us lucky enough to have been born in the United States. Rather than neglecting the contributions of immigrants to knowledge, as demonstrated by Nobel Prize winners, let us celebrate that in the year 2016, Americans won 7 Nobel Prizes, and 6 of them were immigrants. The only native born was Bob Dylan. Which makes me wonder whether a new band, Bob Dylan and the Immigrants, might have been a wonderful contribution to both rock and roll and science. In short, let us be guided by we rather than we versus they, and our hearts with compassion rather than hate and division. Thank you.
Do we get college credit for that? Or... No, seriously, this is how great it is when we all come together from different backgrounds, different age groups, different counties. This is how we create magic. Yellow hat girl, not red hat girl, just cool.
Be kind is better than MAGA.
Hello, my name is Amy and I'm an independent. Like an AAU. I live in Chanute, the hometown of the creator of the pride flag, Gilbert Baker. And yet my home is one of the only LGBTQ-friendly foster homes in the entirety of Chanute. I have had people take the pride flag from my porch and lay it on the ground. This is about right versus wrong, not left versus right. Why are we out here fighting battles that our ancestors fought? My ancestor, Jeremiah Greenman, fought in the American Revolution. He was a common foot soldier, and his diary has been published so you can see what they went through. My grandmother walked the streets in the 1960s fighting for women's rights. Why are my daughters Why are the daughters confronting these same tragedies of women dying in childbirth, of young children being forced to give birth against their will, of rapists walking our streets? Linus Thurston, the old county attorney of Neosho County, let the man who raped my 15-year-old foster daughter walk on a diversion. He paid money, doesn't even have to register. We need to protect our children. We need to do better for them. This August, I will welcome 2 foreign exchange students to my home. Their names are Tien from Vietnam and Jacopo from Italy. Jacopo's parents remember their parents talking about the fascists then. Are we going to let them come to this country and let them see us being overtaken by the fascists as well? No! Liberty and justice for who? Liberty and justice for who? We need to reclaim the values of our country. Our country is built on freedom. It was built on kindness. Kansas is one of the kindest states in this union. Anyone who travels through here will tell you, we all wave, we say hi, we talk till our faces turn blue. It takes like 10 hours to have a Midwest goodbye. Bye. Oh, and how are the kids? No, did you forget we use potato salad? Okay. You know, it takes like 6 hours to get out of it. In 1820, Kansas wanted to be a free state. We had the Missouri-Kansas Compromise. I saw the numbers 1 second. Yes, in 1820, we had the Missouri-Kansas Compromise. Missouri would be a slave state, and Kansas would be free. No more slavery was supposed to be past our southern border. In 1854, we had the Kansas-Nebraska Act, where Kansas was forced to vote on slavery. Even though we already said no, bleeding Kansas resulted. Pro-slavers came into our state and they clashed with freedom fighters. Many died and suffered. We voted free. Woo! In 1861, Kansas became a free state. No more slavery past our southern border. We stopped it right here. In 1954, Brown versus the Board of Education in Kansas, it ruled that segregation in our schools was unconstitutional. In 2022, the overturn of Roe versus Wade, Kansas will protect women's reproductive rights. We are proud people in Kansas. We care about each other. We love each other. And we stand up to tyranny. We stand up to slavery. We stand up to those who want to harm us. And we said for slavery, the buck stops here. John Brown's body lies moldering in the grave, and people have forgotten what we stand for. What do we stand for? Freedom! What do we stand for? Freedom! How do we treat our neighbors? With love! How do we treat our neighbors? With love! Be kind is better than metal. Thank you.
Amy, what's your last name? Backfire. I'll get your information. Have you ever considered running for office? Okay. What about the school board? You can start a school board.
I mean, why not?
Is Linda Barnes here? Where's Linda Barnes? I saw her driving. Okay, Linda Barnes is the Neosho County Chair, and she drove here. I see Greg. Will you give her info for me and that young lady in the yellow hat and get it to the Neosho County people?
Yes.
Thank you. This was not just a candidate recruitment. But hot damn. Oh my God. Any other future presidents in the office? All right. At least you're a normal height. So this is good.
Hi everybody, I'm Hannah Davis, I'm 5'4". And I want to thank you all for being here. Obviously, I'm sure you're tired of hearing it at this point, but it's so important that we all come and we all show up, because just one person coming together looks like this. You're all just one person, but we're all here together. And to get to the main point of what I wanted to talk about today, I want to send a message not to people under this pavilion, or in this town, or in this country, or in the world right now, but to the people who will be reading about this in our history books. These times are scary, but we've seen scary times before. I implore you that when you watch these videos in your classes, when you read about the things that happened, pay attention, because our biggest enemy is ignorance. The thing that is the most terrifying, the biggest threat to freedom, is ignorance. Remember what happened here and in our past, and what will come ahead of us, so that you can learn from what we have done and do better. Thank you.
Are you in Pittsburgh?
Galena area.
Okay. Elaine, Tony. Yeah? Yeah. I think we just have one more pre-signed up speaker, which is Dr. Harriet Bachner. Are you ready? Yeah. I also tried to get her around herself, and she keeps telling me no, but maybe she'll say yes to you guys.
I agree with Dr. Peterson. Speaking to a rambunctious crowd like this is much more challenging than being in the classroom. But today, I want to talk about that quote, and I found out it was Billy Graham who said this, believe it or not, that courage is contagious. And I've been looking for what can we do to deal with this horrible atrocity of an administration that we have going on. So I read and I read and I read. And what I'm going to share with you are some of the recommendations of some of the folks that I have read. Former Supreme Court Justice William Douglas stated, "I do not know of any salvation for society except through dissenters and people who protest."
Hear, hear.
As we know that Cory Booker and Reverend William Barber have stated, this is our moral moment. We cannot use or misuse, we cannot misuse our privilege or whatever privilege we may have. Because we have to speak out about what is happening. We can be part of the reawakening of American democracy and make it better. Historian and author Heather Cox Richardson contends that the degree to which ordinary Americans like us step up and define about what's really happening dispels the misinformation and disinformation, which actually we can call lies, disinformation's lies, of this administration. Our rallies and our protests here today and across the country reflect how unpopular this regime really is. This regime tries to redefine reality, and that is what authoritarians do. That is what fascists do. What is different now, though, is that we are witness, and we have cell phones. We are witness. We witness what Trump and his minions are doing. It's important for us to keep in mind that Trump and his minions are very unstable, and their increasingly extreme actions actually demonstrate the masking of their weakness and fear. Remember, courage is contagious. Heather Cox Richardson and others have reminded us that we have leverage with information, just like what was shared a moment ago. That it is crucial that we continue to push back on the lies, on the deceit, that we flood the media with clear and accurate messages. We can tear down their ridiculous statements and at times even poke fun at the absurdity of the things that they tell us. Richardson and others strongly recommend that we make it very difficult for legislators to ignore the people most affected by Trump's hurtful orders. This is not an administration that responds to the everyday needs of Americans. So as we continue to stay alert to facts, we can do this by, and I have a list of things that I have read that people have recommended. Send messages every day through phone calls, emails, texts, letters, and social alerts through social media. I know the staff people in our legislators' offices know me by name. And I hear them like, or again. Because I call them every day. I make at least 3 calls every day to our legislators. Ask your friends and family, and maybe your family aren't speaking to you. I don't know. I have a couple of family members that aren't speaking to me. To call their legislators with a specific message each day. And each day, it's one specific message. Don't flood them, even though I'm tempted to do that. Writing letters to newspapers to dispel the lies. Have the factual information. Visit your local legislators' offices to express your concerns. We have offices right here of our legislators that we can visit if they have people there to talk to, or you can slip a letter under the door. Attend town halls, and some legislators, I found out, have phone-in town halls rather than in person. One of our legislators here has a phone-in town hall. I just found out about that. Derek Schmidt. Yes, so we need to find, I think it's on a Thursday, the first Thursday, I'm not exactly sure, but we gotta find out when it is. So that we can be in that phone-in town hall. We need to protect America's resilient constitutional and federal governing system. Our robust advocacy groups, our independent judiciary, and our diverse free press and free speech protections are important for us to continue to speak up for. Freedom doesn't just suddenly disappear. It's chipped away every time we stay silent in the face of injustice. Being ready and engaging in peaceful protests are essential, just like we're doing here today. We still have the power to decide what voices we want to amplify, what stories we believe, what values we uphold. We can resist with knowledge, with community, and with the convictions that we show. So our movements are powerful because we protect each other. Let's stay ready, knowing our strength and our solidarity are shown through our care, our empathy, and our support of each other. Let's say this together. Care, empathy, and support of each other are our strengths. Again, care, empathy, and support of each other are our strengths. This is our moral moment. Thank you.
Is there anybody else with a burning desire to be recruited to run for office? I'm gonna skip you with this young person here, and then we'll move you next.
Fun PPS and then PR.
Fun PPS. And
Yes.
I completely agree with that. Hi, my name is Sam. I am a almost 19-year-old college student at New Hampshire Community College. And I have a question. How many people is this your very first protest? Less hands than I thought it would be. But mine too. This is mine and my father's very, very first protest. And we decided to come out and protest because there's not a better time to come out and do it.
Welcome.
There is no better reason to come out and not talk about what we believe in and what is going wrong in this country. So I want to say thank you for everyone who decided to get the guts to come out here for your very, very first protest, and thank you to everyone else who has protested in the past and has came out for today as well.
Hi, I'm Evan Pistol. I have a black son-in-law, and last week we celebrated Love versus Virginia. And I have 3 interracial children, grandchildren, one of them who I am sure he's just little, but I'm sure he's gay. I'm sorry, it's not a choice when they're that way at his age. And I have a brother-in-law who is married to his wonderful husband. And I get up every morning and I'm afraid for those people. And I'm afraid for myself because I'm in Social Security. And I also get, I'm on Medicare. And I get really afraid. But I came to this today because I've never been to a protest. And you know what? I'm feeling a little braver.
in trouble. I'm not ready to run for office because I know you.
I just want to give a shout out. First of all, I was brought up in Los Angeles County, and there's nobody illegal when it was their country first. When I came to Kansas, I thought it's a wonderful, quiet, peaceful place, but I felt very alone as a liberal, or as they say, libtard, until I found liberal ladies. And they took me in with all the crap that comes with me and made me feel at home. And they're a wonderful, wonderful group, and I appreciate them greatly. They do wonderful work. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right.
I'm Luke Stoner. I've been in Kansas for a decade and a half now, but I was homeschooled, so I didn't have a lot of social everything. And honestly, when everything started happening, January 20th, I felt alone. And it wasn't until I started actually reaching out to people a month or two later, because I was tired of hearing everything. And it wasn't until a couple months later when I started actually reaching out to people and going to places like here that I started feeling hope for what we are doing, or for what we can do here. I just wanted to say thank you.
Okay, everyone know, everybody's getting ready to go. I don't know if you're gonna see it. Everybody wants to march, I can see it.
Just real quick. Okay, I don't know how close I have to get to it. Sorry, 6 foot 4 years. Not very good at public speaking, so I'm just going to look at the ceiling. But just want to remind everybody that this bringing back our country from the tyranny of a would-be king and whatnot, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be a short battle. It is going to be long and tiresome, and anger can only take us so far. It's like Avery said earlier, and it's a marathon, not a sprint. Pace yourselves. If you start to show signs of burnout, please reach out to somebody, get help, try and get better, and then get back to it. Thank you.
This young librarian right here is going to lead us, actually kind of by the library, don't let her get distracted. Yeah, I'm like easily distracted by books. But is everyone ready to march? Hey, one sec, we got water over here. Yeah. Yeah, we have water, and don't forget your headquarters, we have bathrooms, snacks, etc. If you don't feel like marching, you're welcome to stay here and hang out with us all day. But if you want to go, follow her. All right, everybody, this way.
Here we go. Get them up.
15.
Take care, Doc.